elegant or less than elegant listeners, and welcome to Go, my favorite sports team. It's me, your normal host, the one that knows the most, the one that's the tallest, the biggest, and the most steady with eye contact, here to lead you into today's episode, joined by Mark remotely from an undisclosed location. He seems to have been kidnapped.
No, this is my normal office.
No, you were kidnapped by the horror game.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Okay, never mind.
You know,
then.
improv? No. Dumb. Anyway, those of you who are less than elegant, you know what you did. You're really letting it slip. You got to get it together, man. You're really letting yourself go. And you got so much potential in you. And you know you do. And you know if you just put in a little more effort, you would be on the road back to yourself. But you don't. You're still scrolling on your phone. Come on.
You, too, could upgrade to watching on video. We are on YouTube.
That's true. I was going to say listen on audio so you can go for that jog you've been meaning to go for. But yeah. Or sit on the couch and watch this on TV. That also counts as being great.
Yours is better. I like yours better, though.
my basically verbal abuse that I just laid upon them.
Exactly. You know, it's really motivating when you have somebody telling you suck.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
That's all coaches are really good at that, you know?
Yep. Yeah. I have a fun little anecdote that was only tangentially related to sports.
Oh?
Back in the news of GoPro, as you all know, I love my GoPro. GoPro is now the official action camera partner of the American Flat Track. I don't know what that is, but it's some kind of racing thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's flat track motorcycle racing. It's motorcycle racing. Series sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing in Daytona Beach. Okay. So American Flat Track is motorcycle racing. America's, what is that? America ampersand hashtag 39 apostrophe S original extreme sport. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, it's a series that was founded in 1954, originally encompassing 5 distinct forms of competitions, including mile dirt track races, half mile short track, TT steeplechase, and road race.
TT steeplechase.
British invasion in the 1960s. That seems late. British manufacturers joined the American motorcycle market. And then Japanese arrival in 1969 with new regulations eliminated the displacement penalty for overhead valve engines.
Overhead valve engine displacement penalty. I don't even know what that means.
Harley returns to dominance in 1987. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that meant.
All right. So here are the different races. The mile is a race held on an oval-shaped dirt course approximately 1 mile in length. The half mile is a similar event to the mile, but it's on an oval half mile. Short track is a race held on an oval-shaped dirt course approximately a quarter mile. And steeplechase held on an irregularly shaped dirt course.
Yeah, wait. How do you steeplechase in a motorcycle? I want to see that. Is it a ramp? That sounds awesome.
Look up the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
Sturgis Motorcycle.
Tarmac dirt and various turns on both surfaces. And then there's the Super 77, which integrates elements of the Supermoto. It's like tourist trophy. It seems like it's changing different surfaces. It's not necessarily water, but it's like dirt and road and such. So a lot of these bikes are like the hybrid bikes. It seems more like dirt track and sort of like rally cars, because rally will have road and then it'll have dirt. So, but motorcycle version.
Okay, cool. Well, the reason I brought that up is so I could have an excuse to talk about other camera stuff that has nothing to do with that. Well, it's actually tangentially related. Do you know the company called Xtra? XTRA?
I have not.
The answer is you don't, because it was a company that was made up recently by DJI. So DJI is subject to a lot of bans right now, for better or for worse. I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong. They're subject to bans because of drones in America from Chinese companies. You know, the administration doing what the administration does, blocking these things. And a lot of other products have been caught in the wings, especially this new and upcoming camera that a lot of people were excited about, the Pocket 4 Pro, right? Mm-hmm. So then they got this ban, and for some reason they weren't able to sell that one. So they created an entirely different company called Extra, and they sold like a rebranded version of it. Like they tried to sneak it through into America through this. And so a lot of people pre-ordered it because of, obviously it's like the same camera. It's just like some slight little tweaks here and there to try to get around it. And then the FCC struck that down hard because it was not just them. They created 7 different companies to try to like sell their products.
Oh my
which
God.
is just, it's a bizarre thing. Extra technology, spatial hover, Ficoxo technology, Cogito Tech, Lino Dynamics, Wavego Tech, and Sky High Tech all are subsidiaries of DJI trying to get around this ban. And I'm like, if you are trying to get around it in some way, this is definitely the way to get them pissed off at you and to never be able to sell anything ever again.
Shell company to shell company to shell company to shell company.
Yeah, so it's actually being hit pretty hard, and so that's an opportunity for its competitors to come in there and do something about it.
I mean, it is somewhat related if you get into drone racing. So while we go to sports cameras, like there's drone racing that occurs, which usually has a camera on board and people are piloting them. I've seen ones where they kind of have like a VR headset as well while they fly.
That's usually how they do it in general.
Yeah, so that is somewhat related and very sports related because of that particular branch of sport.
Yes, so drones from DJI in America, it may be quite some time before they are able to sell a new one again. Their old ones, I think, can still be sold, but it will be a long time before DJI can do that again.
In other news, you remember how we talked about scalping recently?
Yes.
And how people are like, because of Ticketmaster and StubHub and everything with the CEO. New thing on the market, sealed bounty paper towels selling for hundreds of dollars because of being no longer made that have Dawn built into them. New sealed product being scalped on the web. Paper towels.
Why?
No idea. I think it's a discontinued line.
The built-in Dawn one wasn't even, I hate the built-in soap ones.
Yeah.
I very rarely use my paper towels for scrubbing with soap in them. I use them to pick up spills.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like wipe off hands. I don't need soap. Why is that a hot item?
I don't know, but it recently caught my eye that there's literally people that are stockpiling these old paper towels, and a bag of them I saw was listed for $100, $99.99. Which is obscene. We're getting so far that random products are suddenly like, ooh, I'm going to collect this. There's only like 7 left.
Who's buying that?
I do not know.
Who's buying it?
Old people that like it, probably.
I guess, yeah.
It's a different market.
That is bizarre.
And in the other news, this relates somewhat to car racing in a tangentially way. Polestar banned from selling in the U.S. market.
Really? Why is that?
Chinese-owned EV maker Polestar will exit the U.S. market after the Commerce Department banned the company from selling new cars. So if you want to get an EV for cheap but not worried about updates or anything else, Polestar has an option for you.
Not worried about updates.
Maintenance.
They're not worried about those old updates making it better. Yeah.
Maintenance parts. Which is also crazy because Polestar and Volvo work together. So there's like this weird, interesting issue that's going on with, the argument is that they're a competitor to Tesla and Elon's up close with the administration. So that's why they got banned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The drone thing is also because of internal administrative motivated things for them having their buddies, drone companies doing well, which is totally not illegal.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. When it comes to like some of DJI stuff, I get really pissed off at DJI, and I have been slowly over time. And I have a lot of DJI stuff. You probably know I have like DJI stabilizers. There's one even back there. I've had, cameras and whatnot from them. Their customer service is bad, but it's like, I would not choose to shop at a company because of customer service reasons, as opposed to, hey, the government decides that they shouldn't be sold, so that the internal competitors can step in for whatever.
Yeah, so it seems to relate to the idea that they're spying, much like TikTok was forced out because of ties to China and stuff like that, which is a whole other thing. But meanwhile, we have flock cameras still that have a backdoor that sends data over there anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like the spies are already in the house. Like I'm not sure what they're worried about here, but yeah. It's
nuts. So, am I the asshole? Yes. People that are banning these products, except maybe DJI because they do some shady stuff that Mark doesn't like as well.
Yeah, it's just purely for customer service reasons.
That's fair.
That's all it is.
That's fair. But all of these go into the topic of today, which is great because we have identified some assholes already. So I feel like we're ready to dive in to identifying more asshole or not.
Yes, I can take the first.
I was actually going to take the first and give you the second one, and there's a reason for that.
Oh, never mind. You can take the first.
Am I the asshole for asking someone in my cycling group to leave due to inappropriate gear? Original poster is OKBoot6897. I, 24 male, organize group cycling rides pretty regularly. They're technically open to the public because of sponsor requirements. Usually restaurants we stop at along the way. Ooh, that's nice. But in reality, they're mostly filled with my friends. I still have to advertise them, though. I guess advertise them friends, or are they talking about the companies? Probably the companies.
No idea.
This last ride was a longer one, about 3 hours each way and a fairly fast pace. Out of 5 total spots, 4 were taken by people I know, and I ended up going to someone from the public, Courtney. When we met at the start point, I noticed right away that Courtney wasn't dressed like a typical cyclist. She had a proper road bike, helmet, lights, all that, but she was wearing a long skirt and sandals that were not clipless instead of cycling gear. Sandals that were not clipless?
Not clipless.
I know, like, the things that I'm thinking of are just like the boots that click in for cycling.
Yeah, so they had clips. Is that what it's trying to say? Or
that's what I guess. Are there clip-in sandals?
Yeah. Wait.
This is confusing. Not clipless instead of cycling gear. Anyway, everyone else was in standard Lycra kits. She actually had the most expensive bike out of all of us, so clearly she knew better. I was honestly concerned about safety. A long skirt near a bike chain just sounds like a bad situation waiting to happen, especially on a fast-paced ride where we wouldn't be stopping constantly. I didn't want to be responsible if something went wrong, so I told her she couldn't participate and would have to leave. That didn't go over well. One of my friends, Emily, immediately said if Courtney couldn't ride with us, she wouldn't either. She left and said she'd just do the same route independently with Courtney. Since it's all public roads, there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah?
The awkward part came later when I realized we'd all be stopping at the same sponsor restaurants. It would have looked weird if Courtney was just there, but not part of the group. So if she had to pay separately while everyone else was covered. So I ended up just registering her anyway and letting her ride with us after all. After the ride, Emily told me I was an asshole for how I handled things. I feel like she kind of forced my hand, though. If she hadn't walked off with Courtney, I would have stuck to my decision. I also think she might be biased because they're both women, and usually Emily is the only one in the group. The rest of my friends think I was being reasonable. For what it's worth, the event page did say weather-appropriate cycle clothing, but it didn't specifically say no skirts. I feel like at this point, she should be allowed to wear what she wants to wear, and that's on her if she deals with having something happen. I understand as a group, like, responsibility if something happens, you have to take care of them. But, like, I feel like that's, if she thinks that she's okay riding that, especially as an experienced rider with an expensive bike.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's making a lot of assumptions about the skill of the person that is new to the group. They clearly have a nice bike. They look like they've done it before. They've cycled, which means that they know what they're doing when it comes to. It doesn't sound like a competitive cycle anyway. Isn't this kind of like I mean, it's a trip, but it's like, you know?
Yeah, and it says group cycling rides. It's not like, yeah. So for her, also, it's possible because she had the most expensive bike. She's used to longer.
She's used to younger,
more arduous rides. And she's like, oh, I can just kind of wear casual gear because this ride's not long enough for me to really need to put on that. And who knows if she had special cycling stuff under her skirt. I doubt he was looking under her skirt. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, a long skirt near a bike chain just sounds like a bad situation waiting to happen. If that's literally the only reason to have an issue, then yeah, you're an asshole because you're just making decisions for someone else. And even if you're not like, I don't like a woman in a skirt, it's like that's how it's going to look to everybody else.
Yeah.
You should be cognizant of how your decisions are going to look optically no matter what way you do. And so if this is the only two women in the group, yeah, it's going to seem like you're singling them out. Even if you're like, I'm not. It's like optics are optics. It's like, I know some people are like, well, I can't be responsible for how people look. It's like, we're all responsible for how our actions are perceived. And if they're imperceived, then it's up to you to make it up to other people. Or at least make them understand. Sometimes people might interpret and you can't do anything about it, but you're the leader of the group here, right?
Yeah. And maybe there's a reason she's wearing a long skirt. Maybe she has something like there's religious things that some people wear longer skirts for. There's a lot of different reasons where somebody might wear something that covers more of their body. And that for them was appropriate and they're comfortable riding with it. Plus, there are ways you can tuck the clothing to where it's not going to get in the chain. I get that there's a risk, but the assumed risk is by the person on the bike. And It's not, you're on a public roadway. It's not like you're going on a bike trail that's like remote and hard to like necessarily get to. You're going to a restaurant. I understand the safety concerns, but you can address it and be like, hey, I'm kind of worried about that. And just be like, oh, I've done this all the time. That's fine.
Yeah,
it seems like a jump to conclusion situation.
It is, yeah. It is definitely what I would call a jump to conclusions. Oh, well. Asshole.
Agreed.
Oh, this one's been deleted. Oh, I see. Ah, okay. All right. Here's the next. Am I the asshole for flashing a 200,000 lumen flashlight over people playing basketball? I don't even know if I need to read this. I don't even know. I think I understand why they...
He was helping them see. It was night.
Yeah.
Also, it's AITJ, so am I the jerk instead of am I the asshole?
There is a subreddit. So the subreddit is Am I the Jerk? For those that think Am I the Asshole is like nothing but fan fiction, which for the most part, a lot of these on these subreddits, especially the popular ones, are just like people writing random scenarios that didn't actually happen. But I'm assuming this one real. I live in a small apartment which is unfortunately just 10 meters away from a public basketball court. Unfortunately. I definitely can tell what kind of person this is. People are allowed to play there from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. There are no fences, no staff, just a court there. I have no opinion of people using that court during the permitted hours, even though they are quite noisy. However, after 10 p.m. when the lights all turn off, there are still people playing basketball. I am not sure if they have seen the huge sign written in multiple languages. These foreigners.
They should be able to read. It doesn't even need to be languages. Learn English. That's what this person sounds like.
Multiple languages telling them to be quiet after 10 p.m. But a lot of them just keep screaming and smashing balls on the ground.
They're smashing their balls and just screaming.
I've tried to use a speaker and a small flashlight to show them it's time to leave. Someone does leave, but there's always a group just pretend they hear nothing, even making the sound louder. They will just keep playing until it is 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I have tried to ring local police twice, but they simply didn't come with a promise of coming. The apartment security or local council, nothing they can do. I really have no choice but to use my flashlight, which 100 times more luminous than a headlamp of a car, to dispel the group. That sounds crazy, but well, I can't think out a better idea due to sleep deprivation. Am I the asshole? Yes. Yes, you are.
Isn't 200,000 lumens kind of dangerous if somebody looks into it?
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, but I mean, like... Oh, it's just a prank. Okay, here's the thing. If they are, and I doubt a lot of this is probably hyperbole, if they are playing till 2 or 3 a.m., I know of no one that plays basketball up until 2 a.m. every night. Maybe on a random occasion it does happen. Sure, could happen.
Like a weekend generally.
Yeah, there's no way in hell. And also, close your window? I don't know how loud people could possibly be playing basketball. You say you're 10 meters away from a public basketball court.
I'm also picturing they're on the ground floor. So that makes it worse. Like if they were above shining the flashlight, great. But right next to them, like, bam.
Yeah, they could find you. and they could come beat you up, which might be justified considering what you're trying to do. He hasn't done this yet. Let's be clear. They're thinking about doing this, but they haven't done it yet. Yeah, no, this is pretty cut and dry. If they are playing till 2, 3 a.m., then yes, you could call the police, and that actually is a noise complaint worth doing. I would get that because that's happening, but I highly doubt that that's happening 7 days a week.
No, Mark, it's a coordinated attack. 10 people with 10 basketballs line up, staring directly at his window, as close to the side as they can, reaching up high and counting to 10 because they have 10 basketballs, and then slamming them down and then catching them and doing it again over and over and over and over.
And then screaming. Don't forget the screaming. Ah!
Ah!
Slam. Ah! Slam.
They get scared by the ball that they slammed.
Yep, exactly.
And then they slam their balls into their ball into their balls and make them scream louder just to keep this man awake.
Yep.
Or woman, or non-binary, awake. I would assume man, just by attitude.
Could be a woman. Who knows?
Could be. So the next one is WIBTAH.
Will I be the asshole?
Ah.
Come on, man. You're doing suburb reads. You don't even know what it is?
I'm bad at acronyms.
What if you read these regularly at all, you would know that.
I'm sorry.
You can't make content around something that you don't actually consume, says the not sport watcher. It's impossible.
You can't possibly be doing that.
Couldn't be done.
Will I be the asshole if I leave a fake fantasy football draft sheet on my kitchen counter? Original poster, drink beer and fight. I'm assuming that's leading me towards asshole already. Get drunk and fight people. Will I be the asshole for leaving a fake fantasy football cheat sheet lying around for my roommates to find? I'm in a couple different fantasy football leagues. One of them is my friends group. My roommates are in this league. They do not really follow NFL and do no research prior to the draft. I always have a cheat sheet with players I like and dislike highlighted. It's nothing crazy, but it helps me make better choices in the middle rounds. Last year, one of my roommates copied it and gave it to the others in the group. The end result was I didn't get most of the players I wanted. I'm thinking about making a fake sheet and just accidentally leaving it on the counter overnight. Then, while they draft players I don't want, I can have a team I do want. Is this bad sportsmanship? I think it's strategy.
No.
I think it's clever strategy. There are instances where like football coaches have accidentally left fake playbooks and game plans in practice rooms for the other team to discover and then have them figure it out later on. And they go, oh, this plays that. And then they do a completely different play. And they're like, wait, that's not in this book.
Yeah, if they were snooping in the first place, then that's on them for like trying to make picks of what they thought were just what you wanted.
Yeah.
Therefore, this is clearly not. This is just fair play at that point. Or, strategy, just trying to like throw them off their game. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this.
I don't either. I think it's clever, a clever move, a clever play, given that they already kind of pseudo cheated by copying you to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right, next one. By Boogie Smools. Am I the asshole for ejecting a pitcher from a Little League game? Hilarious.
Oh, gosh.
Take that, child. Get out of here.
You're banned. Here's a red card, even though this is baseball.
This guy's the sports knower. He's got a master's degree, everybody.
Hey, World Cup just happened.
I umpire for my nephew's Little League team sometimes. They're all around 10 years old. They pitch, hit, and catch themselves, but they're still not all very good at it. It makes sense. They're 10. Lots of bases being loaded from 12 ground balls in a row, and most hits being fouls are only going about 10 feet. That said, kids get hit by pitches regularly. At least once per game, a kid gets hit. If he's not bleeding or anything, he takes a base, and we move on. However, yesterday during the game, this one kid who was pitching on my nephew's team throws really fast, but not really accurate. In the course of the game, every batter he pitched at either got hit or nearly got hit. He hit one kid in the leg. No big deal, he took a base. Then a few batters, multiple close calls later, he hit another kid, this time in the shoulder, almost drilling him in the face. I made a comment to the pitcher asking the kid to please be more careful. The coach came over and shamed me for it, telling me, you're going to make him feel bad. He's trying his best. I'm aware that these are all children and none of them are trying to hurt each other, but still. Next batter, everything is fine. He gets a base after 2 strikes and 4 balls, and the batter after him, we get 1 pitch right down the middle, and the next pitch hit the kid hard. Batter saw it coming too. He turned away, and it hit him square in the back. It made a cringe-inducing thud, and he dropped to a knee and started crying immediately. I stood up and told the coach, "You got to put in a new pitcher." Coach immediately blows up at me like I don't need to do anything. He's just trying to throw strikes. He's not doing it on purpose. I don't care if it's an accident. He's hit 3 kids in this game alone and almost hit every other batter so far. I have to think about their physical well-being, not just with the one kid's feelings. We argued for a couple minutes, and I eventually said I'd just disqualify them if they refused to switch pitchers, which I don't really have the authority to do, but fuck it. And he gave in and switched the pitcher out. I felt bad because the kid started crying. He sat out the rest of the game, didn't hit or anything. And I know he wasn't doing it on purpose, but clearly he needs more practice before he knocks someone's teeth out or just don't have him pitch. The coach yelled at me. The kid's dad called me a dick. One guy in the crowd was calling me a jerk. And even one of the parents on the other team told me maybe I should have just let it go. So am I the asshole here? I don't think I am, but maybe I was over-exaggerating since it's just a little league game.
To the umpire's discretion, when it's youth sports, to step in if there is a dangerous situation. That said, 3 kids getting hit is not enough to qualify a dangerous situation, in my opinion. I believe it's also on the kids to understand protecting themselves and getting out of the way of the ball. That's something that exists in baseball, where a batter in Major League Baseball, if they don't make an attempt to get out of the way, can be marked as out by leaning into the pitch or potentially crowding the plate. Again, there's this one needs more information for me, right? Mm-hmm. Because where the batter's standing, are they crowding the plate? Because there are plenty of times where if a player is close to the plate, that's on the player that's at batting. If you're crowding the plate, and it's slightly inside, you're going to get hit. I get that he's throwing hard. I get that they're 10. I get that the pitcher's working on it. But at this point in the game, 3 batters is not enough to do that. Mm-hmm. That's pretty common in youth sport and in Little League. Yeah. And in my opinion, I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. It is something where you can stop the game and talk to the kid and be like, hey, I know you're trying, but try not focus on hitting the glove or trying to help somewhat coach him. Umpires are okay to do that. But the way that it was handled, also, I think the coach was kind of an asshole for blowing up immediately and even having the discussion of being like, hey, this is becoming an issue. Go talk to him or something like that. Usually that's what the umpire would do, is rather the coach talk to him than the umpire. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to say asshole or not. It's kind of skirting a line to where it's like, this one's really open to interpretation. In this situation with hitting 3 kids, I think you kind of were being overprotective. If he had hit 3 kids in an inning alone, and then there were multiple innings where he hit 3 kids, then I'd be like, okay, we need to stop this.
I think it's because he almost hit a bunch that we don't know about. I think it's probably fine. This doesn't seem like that bad of a situation, because what it sounded like is he didn't eject the pitcher. He was just like, you just need to replace the pitcher, which is different than ejecting from the field itself. That's just right. Listen, you've had a lot of tries at this, sonny boy. I think it's time to let someone else pitch. And it's just I think that's fine. Look, the kid also has to learn, it's not okay to miss that badly for the sake of speed. And I totally get it. You're young. You're just I can throw really fast. Watch this. Shoo, 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 wow, going off in different directions. That also, accuracy is important. So maybe they need a lesson being this is not good performance anyway. So I think it's fine.
It's the near misses will happen. It's hard to know without seeing it. So I'm, like I said, I might think it's a little heavy-handed, but I don't think it's asshole-like. I think you're stepping in to protect. So it's probably fine then, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Again, without perspective of seeing it, it's hard for me to determine.
Yeah. But the cringe-inducing thud, and he started crying immediately.
That is, if you think about it, he's also keeping those other kids from continuing to play baseball. They might get scared out of playing baseball by getting hit a bunch, and we don't want that in youth sports. We want to encourage people to learn and enjoy the game. Unfortunately, with soccer in the U.S., the reason we don't have a lot of soccer players is because there is actually a financial burden to participate as a kid in soccer, because there's travel team, there's all these things. to where the cost to actually play soccer, despite being the most accessible sport in the world, in the U.S., has exorbitant price tags. Mm-hmm. So encourage kids to play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, gotcha.
Less barriers to entry. Don't scare them away.
Right.
Did I read that one or did you read that one?
I read that one.
Okay, I got confused because I thought I read it for some reason. I don't know why. My brain is off. Mark, it was me. I read it the whole time.
Okay. All right.
Am I the asshole for wanting my best friend's award? Posted by Dismal Ticket. For a little background information, my best friend and I are co-captains of our school volleyball club. She has a bigger personality, and her way of leading is pretty much by doing it herself, while me, I'd rather distribute to make sure people feel more involved. I think this is because I do the same things repeatedly in club volleyball and want others to do what they may not get to, and I might get some other teammates to lead warm-up instead of me always doing it. She would rather do it herself. We have different personalities pretty much. I do outside of school volleyball and was on a provincial team?
Provincial, yeah.
Provincial team. During school season, I was moved to a number of positions. If I wasn't playing, there was always a notable difference. This was the one thing I had. Volleyball has always been my thing. I started playing in grade 9, and even though that may seem early because I am about to graduate, I had to work really hard to catch up. People are incredibly good at grade 9 already. But I put so much into this. I train on weekends even when she doesn't want to come with me. I eat, sleep, breathe volleyball. I work hard even when I want to quit or stop over the summers. I pour so much time and effort into volleyball. I've worked way too hard to get where I need to. She only does school volleyball. Sometimes I manage to get her to come with me when I want to do beach volleyball in the summer. We just had the end of school year sport banquet, and she got the most outstanding contributor award, and I got nothing. Volleyball has always been my thing. I am happy for her, but I can't help but feel robbed. She was shocked too when she got it. I feel like I've put so much into something, and the last time ever I had to be recognized for it, it goes to someone else. Volleyball pretty much became my identity over the year, and this makes me feel empty. I'm not saying she didn't deserve it, but I can't help but feel like it should have gone to me. I think it hurts even more because last year my boyfriend and I made a pact. He plays soccer and it is probably the best on the team, and so was I. He thought it would be cool if we both got captain this year and both won the Outstanding Contributor Award for both our sports. We broke up a few months ago. We both got captain, but he just won the award and I didn't. Am I the asshole to think I got robbed and I deserved it more? It doesn't seem like they're saying it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, all they're doing is wanting it. So no actions have taken place for this. I don't even know what this award is. I don't know if there's like a specific criteria for it or if it's just
it's kind of like MVP, most valuable player. It's it distinguishes you the best. In most school clubs, it's voted on by the other players.
Yeah. I think, what it can come down to is with all these awards and things like that, there is always going to be kind of a popularity contest aspect to it. If you are someone that is so consumed by something that you don't actually participate socially as well, or you have an elitist attitude about it, then the people that might be voting for it might not necessarily vote for you. However, the feeling is valid. The feeling is fine. You can be jealous. You can want the award. You can feel like you deserved it. You're not an asshole for having those feelings. I want people to understand you can have those feelings. You have not done anything about it, and it's sorry about the breakup. You were captain of the team, so at some point people recognized that you had the skills for it. There must have just been some other circumstance with which someone else got the award. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen all the time. You think you deserve something? I was at the Emmys, and I worked on something that was just miles above in terms of effort of the other thing that did win. And it's a personal, artistic fucking VR bullshit, whatever, yada yada. The judges didn't even watch mine. It happens.
Well, that's the other issue I had. The recent announcement that they had to watch for the Oscars, that they actually had to watch the film. I'm sitting here like, they haven't been watching?
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you allowed to vote if you don't compare the two things in there? This person's in it, I'm voting for that one.
That's exactly how it goes. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I relate to this. I can't remember the exact award. I don't remember if it was junior or senior year of water polo. But going from junior year, I was an all-state goalie, and I sacrificed playing goalie for the team's good my senior year. Mm-hmm. I was receiving scholarship offers for playing water polo in college if I stayed in goalie. They just wanted me to swim on the swim team and do a swim time, which I could have done. Senior year comes around, we have a foreign exchange student, Lorenzo, comes across, who's just as good at goalie as me, if not a little more consistent and maybe a little better. I had been playing spring water polo, and having played baseball, I had a really, really good arm. I could throw the ball really hard, and I was one of the bigger guys on the team with wrestling experience. Mm-hmm. So during summer training, before school started, before we had our first competition, the coaches came to me and asked me if I would be okay switching to field so that Lorenzo could play, because otherwise one of us wouldn't be playing, the other was would. We wouldn't get the same playing time. I'm not the strongest swimmer, but I worked on that during that season. But their thought was simply this: wrestling experience, bigger guy on the team. There's a center in water polo that we call whole set, and it's a massive wrestling situation. And it's a big guy, and you're wrestling for position, and you're fighting for the ball. Twofold things happen. One, I have goalie experience, and they set right in front of the goalie. So we'd basically have two goalies because I have experience on reading shots, and I know the shots, and I can adjust accordingly with Lorenzo and coordinate with good communication. Mm-hmm. Two, I'm, again, the bigger guy and can actually wrestle and fight for position really well. I just couldn't tread really well, but I knew how to do hand ties. Needless to say, senior year rolls around. There's a number of awards that come out. I end up getting the sportsmanship award, which I'm very proud of, but I don't remember if it was like most improved or most valuable or whatever it is. We had an All-American on our team, Elliot, who went on and actually placed fourth in Olympic trials for swimming. He ended up winning MVP, and he won MVP the year before that. I felt robbed because of the sacrifice I made for some reason, and I got robbed because I wasn't marked to All-State, even though there were other people from other schools that made it in there, and I knew I was better than them. Mm-hmm. I shut down an All-American who was in whole set in a state championship. We won state my senior year. There was a lot of things where I got in my own head about stuff, and so having these feelings, agreed with you, I think are valid. But as long as you don't act on it or say something or lash out, like I wasn't marked as a captain ever. We rotated out who went up, but I wasn't listed as a captain of the team. You have two true captains. So there were a couple of things that I was disappointed in. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like it came down to who voted on the team and different people. And Elliot was very much clearly the best player on our team. I mean, he led us in goals, steals, a bunch of stuff. He had the most versatility, like he was a great player. But I definitely felt robbed my senior year in a lot of ways. And so I relate to this, but at the same time, understand that even if you think you had that and you were that good, own that. Know that you were that. You don't need the award. You don't need other people to see that. Have pride in yourself and be like, I did that and I was good. And that's enough to speak volumes for me. It sounds like there's a little of emotion tied to it, thinking that that's why their boyfriend broke up with them or something as well at the end. But I think at the end of the day, like, even if you didn't get given that award, you showcased your skills. You have the ability. You have that. You own that. You worked hard. You did those. Notice the things that you did to make yourself great. You don't need to be given something from other people and other people's perspective to be proud of that.
Yeah. However, there's another part of this that I think is important. I think it would be okay to talk to your coach about it. I think that would be okay, because if I was the coach and I knew my best player had just the wind knocked out of them and suddenly might not be feeling motivations to go forward, I would want to know about that, not to remedy it, not to fix it, not to undo things, but to just be like, hey, I have feelings and they're going to get in the way of my playing, unless I talk to somebody about it. And if you got a good coach or at least a friend, maybe not that friend, but like a friend that could listen, I think it's important to talk those out, because just like we're saying right now, is like, it is important to get the perspective of like, yeah, it's going to happen. You're not going to get the recognition you need because of yada, yada, things outside of your control. I think it might be okay to talk to the coach about it, so long as it's not coming from a perspective of, just being like literally, hey, I've got really complex feelings. I've been working so hard. I've been doing nothing but living, breathing, volleyball. Like, I just cannot wrap my head. I can't reconcile these feelings of bitterness towards it, and I worry it's going to get in the way of all me loving volleyball. I think you could talk to the coach about that.
Yeah, and it sounds like this was their senior year, so it was like they were going to graduate, and potentially they got offers to go to school, and maybe that might discourage them from going and playing further and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with that. I actually did have a conversation with my coach years later, but it was about one particular thing. I was out of the pool when we finished the game in the state championship. I had 2 personal fouls. You only get 3 in water polo before you're ejected. And so I was like really upset that I was outside of the pool and everyone else was in the pool that were starters when the game ended. And I finally talked to my coach years after when I was coaching with him, and he literally told me, 1, you're the backup goalie. If something happened to Lorenzo, we'd need you. So if you got a 3rd personal foul and it went to overtime and Lorenzo cramped up or something happened, we need you. We can't have you have 3 ejections and not be able to play. 2, we wanted to make sure you were rested in case that did happen or circumstances happened for you to even potentially play field, because you were the one that was shutting down the All-American whole set most of the game. And that made me feel so much better, because it was like, no, you weren't in the pool because if something happened, we fucking needed you. So that made me feel like it was very important for me to not be in the pool after I had 2 personal fouls, so that I didn't get a 3rd one in case things went to extended circumstances. But it also, the timing of it sucked, because I had just gotten a steal and I had made a shot for the first time, because the whole set would cherry pick and the ball slipped out of my hand and I missed horribly, and they ended up scoring a goal where instead of being up 3, we ended up being only up 1. So if I had scored that goal, it would have been the sealer. And so I felt defeated after missing that shot and then giving up the goal. And so then being pulled out made me think it was related to that, but it wasn't.
I see.
One more?
All right. By NJ the Man 102. Am I the asshole for making, quote, disrespectful comment to another fan at a baseball game? Last week I was at a baseball game. Initially, my friend was going to go with me, but he had a work emergency come up, so I decided to go alone since my fiance had work. I was seated about halfway down the left field line, maybe 25 to 30 rows up. The stadium was fairly crowded, but definitely not fully packed, and the seats immediately around me were empty. About 3 innings into the game, I noticed there was a female who was looking back at me. She was seated 3 rows ahead of me, and maybe 5 to 6 seats to the right. Once we made eye contact, she yelled something along the lines of, quote, "Is there a reason why you're staring at me?" It took me by surprise, since I hadn't even noticed her up until that moment. Based on where she was sitting, she was pretty much directly between me and home plate. I told her I was watching the game, and she turned back around and grunted. The next inning, I noticed the same female get up and begin climbing over the seats back towards me. This time, she got to the row directly in front of me and said she was watching me pretty much the whole game and saw me staring at her. Again, I was completely confused on who this lady was or why she thought I was staring at her, but I came to the realization that based on where she was sitting, I was probably just looking at home plate and not her. I tried to explain this to her, and she immediately started going off, calling me a disgusting piece of shit and a pervert. I'm a mellow guy usually. Her barrage of insults and yelling just kind of set me off. I responded with something along the lines of, "If I was staring at anybody, it wouldn't be at your ugly ass." I then told her to get back to her seat and leave me alone. She made a sound and then walked off towards the aisle. I didn't see her for the next 10 minutes or so, so I figured she left. Suddenly, I saw her walk back down the aisle with 2 security guys. Security walked with her to her seat and talked to 2 other people, who I assume are members of her family or party she was with. After about 5 minutes, security approached me and asked me to follow up with them so they could speak with me about an altercation that occurred between me and another fan. I followed and was led up to an alcove where it was quieter. Once there, they told me that they were informed of an altercation where I was staring at another fan and then called her an ugly piece of shit and threatened her. The only true part of that is me calling her ugly. With the context above, I explained my side to the security guy, and after a few minutes, he stepped away to make a call. A few minutes later, he came back and informed me I was being ejected from the stadium for conducting unbecoming of an MLB fan. At this point, I didn't care anymore, so I grabbed my badge, signed the form they gave me, which ended up being a ban for the remainder of the season, and left. Am I the asshole for saying what I said about her? Should I have just stayed quiet and taken it?
Huh.
Something's made up here.
Yeah.
Something is. I'm not 100% sure. I don't trust anyone who calls women a female.
I do that occasionally.
You shouldn't do that.
I don't do that to them, but I do it when I'm talking with somebody to denote, because if I don't know their pronouns, I don't want to assume pronouns, so sometimes I'll say it, to me, male and female is based on sex at birth.
Pick another one.
Oh.
There's connotations to that one.
Really?
Very chud connotations to that, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I've just used it as because of it being, yeah.
Yeah,
I did not know there were connotations, so good to know.
Pick a different one. Yeah.
Got it.
Pick something else. Yeah. Anyway. It said fairly crowded, not fully packed, and seats immediately around me were empty. The seats behind home plate, isn't that usually the most popular spot?
So the interesting thing with that, there are a lot of people who, if they're like in the club seats, the down low that are expensive seats, there a lot of times there's a clubhouse where they can go in and watch it on TV, which to some people has a better viewpoint because you can see from behind the pitcher and different camera angles, and when the ball flies, you don't lose sight of it. There are plenty of people who will move out of those seats. Again, it sounds like a Major League Baseball game. It could be a weekday game. Again, that might have less people. It could be a bad team where like the Angels never sell out their stadium unless they're playing somebody like Los Angeles because they're just horrible. Or the Pirates, for example, who are just bad. Unless Paul Skeens is pitching, who's one of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball right now, a lot of times the stadium's pretty empty. So there's a couple different situations where this can happen. In my life, I have never had somebody approach me who assumed I was staring at them and get pissy about me supposedly staring at them, when if you turn around and look at somebody, you can tell if they're staring at you. I've been approached before because I've zoned out and been staring off in the distance that happened to be where somebody was, and they looked at me weird, and then I go, oh, I'm sorry. Getting angry and responding that hurriedly seems way out of context.
I also am like, yeah, there's something's made up or something's missing here, because you should be able to context clue if this was a woman there. I am in front of home plate, the game. People behind me are going to be looking this way and down, and it's going to look... This is a normal occurrence in crowds. This happens all the time. If someone is in a crowd, like, why was she alone there? She had to go and get her family or people that she was with, but they weren't down there before. It's, there's a lot of questions here. There's a lot of questions. I don't trust this.
Either way, both are assholes.
Everyone's an asshole.
Everyone's an asshole. That's the answer. Everyone assholes.
Sucks here.
The writer
ESH.
of this, asshole. Because it could be AI.
Could be.
Things don't line up. Also, climbing over seats instead of going into the alleyway to the stairs also seems really outlandish.
Yeah, I doubt that too, yeah.
Like, that's nutty. So, yeah, a lot of this does seem made up. Also, I don't know if that would... I just don't see security choosing that for a season-long ban.
Yeah, especially when they don't have any actual evidence of anything. I mean, he did admit, like, I called her ugly, but it'd be like... Fans do that all the time. They insult each other. That doesn't mean a season-long ban.
Yeah. Usually there's an altercation. They might ask you to leave the game.
Yeah, what is this, like they want middle to make school it a recess? Thing. I got put in timeout because I told another student to kiss my ass, and that was it. But this is adults in real life. It doesn't happen. I don't know. Something's weird here.
Yeah, something's weird. But I learned something today, and that's very important.
Huh?
I learned not to use that word.
Yes. No, you can use the word, just don't say like this female came up to me. That's what you'd want to avoid.
Yeah, I've never used it in that context or something like that. It's been different contexts.
What other contexts?
I can't specifically remember. It's not used in a negative way. It's used to describe somebody I don't know. That I don't know what their identifying pronouns are. Like female athlete, for example.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's more or less when I use it, like something like that.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's going to do it for this episode. You can support us by getting some sweet merch. And I tell you what, it'll maybe help prevent you from getting a forever lifetime ban from Major League Baseball when you sport it out in the wild.
Yeah, ask people if you finger sports. That'll not give you a ban.
Yeah, show people your little thingy.
Yep, exactly.
Flip them that little thingy. That won't get you banned ever.
Yeah, just tell people like, hey, I got a mini foam fingy in my pocket. You want to see it? And they're like, oh yes, I do, of course. GMFST listener and or watcher.
You've got a finger that says I finger sports. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make sure you use it for proper reasons, like waving it around and supporting your team.
Yeah,
not other ones. And little fingy can go on big fingy.
The proper reasons is flashing it at people everywhere you can.
Yeah, exactly.
In the most crowded public space possible.
Specifically.
Yep.
But you can get those at store.gmfst.com. With a new hat coming soon, you'll be able to sport a new ball cap fresh in the store when it arrives. Be prepared. Join the email list. I think there's an email list for notifications. I believe so. Store.gmfst.com. And if you have jacuzzas from the World Cup or other episodes or various things like that, reddit.com/r/GMFST. Give us news. Give us your jacuzzas. Give us your stories of if you are an asshole or not. Give us your stories when you are the asshole. Give your stories when you're not the asshole. Give your stories when your dog's the asshole, which probably never happens. Dogs are precious.
No, they can be assholes.
What? Oh, that's true. There are some mean dogs, but that's usually because bad owners. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here.
You heard him.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. You have re-engaged your elegance since the beginning of this episode, so good for you. If you did the things Mark asked and I asked, you are elegant again.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.